Hello. This is chapter 3 of the Odyssey. This is a really important moment in the story because this is where, in chapter 3, where we finally meet for the first time the hero that this story is all about. This is the chapter in which we meet Odysseus. In the longer epic, which I showed you in that the overview video, the thick books, this happens in book 5. For us, it's chapter 3, but it's book 5 where we meet Odysseus for the first time. I think it's like page 100. So you have like a lot of time before you actually meet the hero that the story is all about. This is part of the exposition. And here, when we meet Odysseus, he's been gone from Ithaca for almost 20 years. The island that we're going to meet him on, Calypso's island, Ogygia, he's been there for 7 years, right? So 7 years he's been stranded. He's making the best of it, guys. He's been stranded with the goddess Calypso. But all of this stuff, remember in chapter 1, happened on Mount Olympus, where Athena went to Zeus and asked him to take pity on Odysseus and said, listen, he's done his time. We need to let him go. Poseidon is away. Now is our chance. Let's get him home. So this is this moment when all this God stuff is going to kind of coalesce, and they're going to head to Ogygia, and they're going to speak to Calypso, and she's going to be forced to let Odysseus leave. Chapter 3, Odysseus rescued. As dawn rose up from her bed, Zeus sent Hermes with a message to Calypso. Tell her we want her to let Odysseus go, he said. Let him build a raft and sail alone. He will reach the island of the Phaeacians, and they will treat him like a god and send him home to his loved ones at last. Down the clear air flew Hermes. He skimmed the waves like a bird. He reached land and walked to the cave where Calypso, the nymph with the lovely braids, makes her home. Inside blazed a great fire of sweet-smelling wood. Beautiful trees of all kinds grew near the cave. Around its mouth was a vine, heavy with grapes. Springs bubbled over meadows bright with flowers. Even a god could only gaze in wonder. Then Hermes entered the cave. Calypso knew him the moment she saw him. As for Odysseus, Hermes could not find him there. God of the Golden Wand, why have you come? Calypso asked. I'll tell you, as one god to another, Hermes said. Zeus sent me. He claims you keep someone here, one who fought at Troy and sailed for home. Zeus commands you to free him now. The beautiful Calypso got angry. You gods have no heart! If a goddess dares to love a mortal, you become jealous. When Zeus crashed his ship, I saved him. The rest of his crew all died. But I brought him here. I would have made him a god. But now, how can I stand against Zeus's will? Let him go then. Let him go. Odysseus sat out on the rocks. All day, every day, he sat on rocks and beaches, staring out to sea. No more need to cry here, Calypso told him. Don't waste your life away any longer. I'm sending you off now. Take tools and build a raft. I will give you food and water and wine and clothes. I'll send a strong wind to blow you home. This is the will of the gods who rule the skies. Odysseus shuddered. He gave a sharp cry. Home? Never, he said. I won't get on a raft unless you swear it's not one of your tricks. I swear it by earth and sea and sky, she said. I am planning no new trick to harm you. Good luck to you. Hurry back to your home and to your wife. Since you are so eager to do so, she must be lovely, if you prefer her to a goddess. Don't be angry with me, Odysseus said. How can I compare her beauty to yours? She is mortal, and she can age and die. You can never age or die. Even so, I long to be home. The next morning, Odysseus started building his raft. He cut down 20 trees. He trimmed them and split them into boards. He drilled through them and fitted them together. He made the decks and set the mast. He added a steering oar and a sail. After 4 days, his work was done. It was as fit as any trading ship made by a master builder. The lovely goddess sent him from her island. The winds sped the ship, and he set his course by the stars. 17 days he sailed. On the 18th, he saw mountains. The Phaeacians' island reached toward him just over the waves. Just then, Poseidon was returning from his journey, and he saw Odysseus on the sea. "Oh, look how the gods have changed their minds," he rumbled. "Just look at him. He'll be safe if he reaches land. I'll give him trouble yet." Poseidon grabbed his trident. Using the three-pronged spear, he rammed the clouds together and whipped up the waves and the winds. As night swept down, the rolling sea tossed Odysseus' ship about. "What happens to me now?" Odysseus cried. "Why couldn't I have died at Troy with my friends instead of like this?" A great wave crashed down on his head. The ship spun around. The oar was torn from his hands. The mast broke. Odysseus was tossed into the sea. He fought to reach his ship again, but the winds blew him this way and that. Just as he put his hand on its side, Poseidon launched a huge wave. It shattered the boat into pieces. Odysseus jumped on one long board and rode it like a horse. He rode the waves for 2 days. On the third, he saw land. A great wave rolled him toward the rocky shore. If Athena had not helped him, he would have been crushed. He grabbed for a rock and fought off the waves. He swam and swam until he saw a sheltered place at the mouth of a river. When Odysseus reached the shore, he struggled up the banks. He kissed the dry earth, and then Athena sent a great wave of sleep over him. Odysseus had reached the land of the Phaeacians, where King Alcinous ruled. Athena went to Alcinous' house. There, Nausicaa, the king's daughter, lay asleep. "Nausicaa, you careless girl," the goddess whispered. "You must wash your fine clothes in the morning. You are reaching an age to be married. Your clothes must look elegant for your wedding. I'll help you, and the work will go fast." Nausicaa woke at dawn, wondering at her dream. Down she went through the house to tell her mother and father. She found the king about to leave for a meeting with the nobles. "Father," she asked him, "could you get me a wagon? I want to bring our family's clothes down to the river for washing." King Alcinous ordered a servant to prepare a wagon. Nausicaa piled clothes into it. Her mother packed a picnic basket for her and her maids. The princess drove the mules to the river. She and the other girls scrubbed the clothes on rocks and spread them on the beach to dry. They bathed, smoothed their skin with oil, and ate their lunch. Then they began tossing a ball. Athena acted again. The princess tossed the ball to a maid, but missed her. The ball went splashing into a pool, and the girls all shouted out. Odysseus woke. He sat up with a start. His heart was pounding. "Oh, whose land have I found now?" he said to himself. "Are they cruel men without laws? Or do they fear the gods and treat strangers kindly? I hear girls shouting. Or are they spirits? Do these people speak my language?" Odysseus crept out of the bushes. He covered himself with a leafy branch. It's because he's not wearing any clothes. He covered himself with a leafy branch. He moved out like a hungry lion about to raid a well-protected farm. The girls saw him, all bloody and covered with salt. They screamed, "Ah!" and ran down the beach, all except Nausicaa. Athena planted courage in her heart. Nausicaa stood and faced Odysseus. "Are you a goddess or a girl?" he asked her. "Either way, I am at your mercy. If you're mortal, you must be a princess. Oh, how I envy your family." So here's a picture. There's Odysseus in his birthday suit, hiding behind the bushes, and there's all of Nausicaa's maids in the front, terrified at the salty, bloody, naked stranger. And then there's Nausicaa, with courage planted in her heart by the goddess Athena, confronting this strange man. "What joy it must give your parents to see you dancing. Most blessed of all will be the man who marries you. I've never seen anyone like you. Please, be kind. The sea has brought me here. You're the only person I know here. Please, show me the way to your town. give me a rag to cover myself. May the gods give you everything you wish." "Stranger," the princess said, "you're a good man and no fool. Zeus has given you bad luck, but now your luck has changed. We are the Phaeacians. I am the daughter of King Alcinous." She called to her maids. They gave Odysseus food and drink. After he had bathed in the river, they set out clean clothes for him. He had seemed like a monster when Nausicaa first saw him. Now he looked more like a god. "Get up, friend. Let's go to town. It's time you met my mother and father. They'll see you and get you what you want." So Nausicaa led him to her home. Odysseus prayed to Athena that these Phaeacians would show him kindness. Athena heard him, but she still would not appear to him without disguise. The goddess was still worried about her uncle, Poseidon. Dun, dun, dun. End of chapter 3. So again, a couple of things to notice here. This repetition of the motif of Xenia, that this stranger appears and he looks terrifying and it's just a bunch of young girls and he's naked and dirty and bloody. But Nausicaa does what she should do as the princess, as the daughter of a king, and she offers him Xenia. She doesn't ask him who he is, doesn't ask him to explain himself, but is caring and compassionate and humane, and offers to take him to the kingdom, introduce him to her parents, and learn who he is. It's when Odysseus is in the palace of the Phaeacians, in King Alcinous's palace, where he will start to tell his story. And that is when we, the reader, the audience, is going to learn what happened to Odysseus during those 10 years that he was lost at sea. We'll hear a little bit about Troy and what happened in the war on Troy, but really remember, this story is about his journey home. It is the Odyssey. It is the journey. So that's what the story is about. We're going to learn about that through flashback, and that's where your timeline is going to be really, really important. So we'll look at the timeline at the start of the next chapter, and we'll go over that. But again, you're going to want to notice the motif of Xenia and that motif of the gods being instrumental in providing help, and the gods also being the ones who the Greeks believed either punished them or helped and supported them. Okay? Hope you've enjoyed chapter 3. I will see you soon.